Who's out there running? Call this meeting to order, Beavercreek Rotary for Friday the 13th. How about that? That's perfect introduction to there's 230 days left for till Halloween. Sure, everybody was wondering. Before I asked Jenny up to do the invocation, something happened out of I was heading up to Top Golf with family, and you could not get on 675. They had blocked up from, I think, 35 to Dave Hall. I was kind of aggravated because I had somewhere to go, somewhere to be, people to see when I got there. And then I found out the holdup. Is this thing on? Yeah. Okay. They blocked all the roads and all the addresses because they had a guy on one of the bridges wanting to jump on a car. He wanted to commit suicide. And that kind of makes you think, here I'm in a big hurry to go have fun, and this guy's thinking about ending his life. Makes you think a little bit. That's why I wore this sweatshirt today, too.
Turn around so you can read it. Turn around.
Sure enough.
Turn around, honey.
Hurry up.
Turn around so you can read the back. Okay.
Great, happy Halloween. Go back out. Sometimes you need to be reminded you are enough. In case you ever have doubt. Then, would you like to give an occasion?
Well, good afternoon on this Friday the 13th.
Okay.
My 30th Friday. It was a terrific day. Would you join me in prayer? Oh, gracious one, we still focus on the objectives we have for the world: peace, tranquility, a true brotherhood of man, freedom from hunger, from oppression, from sickness, the freedom to choose our destinies. We reaffirm our commitment to our simple four-way test, for we all do and support. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? We reaffirm our commitment to these high ethics in all we do, and we give thanks for the blessings, opportunities, responsibilities that befall all of us Rotarians. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Dan. John.
We're at 63% today. We have many guests that Denny will be announcing later in this meeting.
All right, thank you. Hello there, Mike. Do we have any special announcements? I've got one. No, this is Happy Bucks. I'm sorry. I'm confusing myself. My grandson was offered 2 free rides, one to Alabama and one to UCF in Florida. And there was another one, I forget. Then he admitted to a bunch of others. That's smart. Now he did not get that from me. So he's committed to UCF in Florida. So I'll get to spend some time in Florida now when he go down to visit him. But I want to get some Happy Bucks up there in the area. All right. Anybody else have any Happy Bucks? Yes.
I'm putting in another Happy Buck because I'm still engaged.
Well, I have a happy buck because last week I met Kenzie's fiance. Nice guy. But Kenzie sold me her used car for my daughter Carrie. So
There you go. Oh, sorry.
Well, I have a happy 10th. And I want to say thank you for all the participants in the Faraway Speak, their parents, your leader, and their coach, Rahul.
So I'm putting in some for the speech and debate team. I'm the coach, Rahul Guha. But I don't want to focus on me real quickly. I asked Dennis when the best time to do this would be, and during this. We just came back from states. We went to novice states and then we went to varsity states. You'll see some of our competitors. Three of them who you'll see be up there, all placed in the top 20 at states. Matthew placing top 20, Frida placing top 10, and Elliot placing top 6. And then as a team, we achieved the best result we have since 1992. We placed 15th in the state, so I put in $15 for half.
I found out last week I'm only a grandfather again.
Yesterday, I celebrated my 25-year anniversary with the Dean County Public Library. My son's going into 6th grade, and I have been trying to convince him to go to the STEM school instead of our public middle school. And he toured it this week and really fell in love with it. So I don't have to make him do it. I want you to go. So I'm very excited.
All right. Any other happy buttons? I missed, I know, I thought I saw somebody up there, maybe. Okay. What's the 55th? Great.
I'm a small, anybody, you know, see your people. But our dances. Pulls out a ticket. Oh,
The number?
all right, yeah,
Oh, you got it.
the last 3 digits, 7, 4, 6.
There you go.
What favorite show is that? Sure, is this still? I don't know where I get on, like, it's maybe not. Oh, it's awesome. Let us see where it is. See, Rocky. Try it, doesn't work.
Oh, now, so, I need that here real quick. Oh. Is, my sister used to be the president of the state debate thing. Oh, wait, just to say, I think it is. Oh, wait, and, he was competing in it when my sister was, president of that organization. I think it's interesting that he's now the coach for the school, doing the same thing. Fantastic.
Yeah.
These kids were made, I shouldn't say kids, these young adults were made. Yeah, they- Is there any special announcements you want to bring up? Anything else? Oh, the golf outing. Don, you want?
Yeah, I know I've got several people that have said they would give us a sponsorship for this. I'd like to get those checks in as soon as possible. I'm going to start working on golfers. I have 4 teams now, so that's good. My goal is to have 120 players. We've done really well on sponsorship so far, so just kind of and then I'll be sending a thing around later for volunteers that maybe you're not playing golf, get you volunteering. So, thank you.
Sounds good. Dick, would you like to? Or you want to go ahead? Then he's going to introduce our guest.
And then the formal speech as well.
Yes.
Oh, wait, thank you. Well, It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you all the participants in our four-way speech, which the contest took place on the 15th of January. Besides myself, our President Dave, Beth Hadworker, Beth Kuzak, and Fran O'Shaughnessy were the judges. I don't think I missed anybody. And I'm gonna introduce these people one at a time, and I'll have them stand up. And then we'll hear the four-way speech presentation by the winner. And we're gonna get a chance to issue some checks to the first, second, and third winners, and some photographs. So this will take a bit. So the first person that we saw, this is in the order that we saw them. The first one was Brianna Chuabe. The second person we saw was Frida Lozano. Now, this is the fourth year that we've seen Frida. And she's won cash for us every time. And also competed at the district level for us. But yeah, I think she was a sophomore when she did that. And so that's Frida. Chloe Yang. She didn't make it. Julia Binkus. Mary Campbell. Elliot Chen. Senior Conley. Our first we saw was Matthew Blackman. Well, it turns out Matthew was our winner. And I'd like to introduce his mom, Dorothy. Frida's mom, Patricia. Glad you all joined us. Well, what I would like to do is have Matthew come up and present his four-way speech to us. I'll hand the mic to Matthew. Oh, by the way, this was a tough decision. It was a split decision, and it wasn't even all the way down. We had a lot of talking to do, comparing grade sheets and so on. But Matthew came out on top.
Hello, Rotary Club. Hello, cameras. We are also a part of the Rotary Club. I guess I'll get started. I was studying for a test when I got a text message from my girlfriend. Now, I was initially excited to read it until I saw what it said. Matthew, are you cheating on me? Now, let me make it clear. I did not cheat on my girlfriend. I mean, look at me. I'm too ugly to cheat. So I responded as any normal person would. No, I'm not cheating on you. Where'd you even get this idea? To which she said, oh, I saw it in one of my dreams. My girlfriend gets anxious all the time. But blame her. Before texting me, I was studying for about 4 hours for that test because I was anxious I would get a bad grade. And when I heard that the Rotary Speech Contest was coming up, I got anxious because I didn't know what I was going to write about. But that hit me. I would write my speech about anxiety. Hi, I'm Matthew Black, and I'm here to put anxiety through the Rotary four-way test. First, is it the truth? No. Anxiety alters our perception of reality. It can make small, minute tasks seem big and scary, and it can make our abilities feel weak. It can make us afraid of failure and think that we'll be judged for even trying. And and worse can make our minds jump to the worst possible conclusion when a situation arises. For example, when I miss one of my girlfriend's calls and she instantly thinks I'm cheating. Second, is it fair to all concerned? No. Anxiety affects people in different ways. For example, when my mom hears that guests are coming over and she thinks she needs to clean the entire house. But on a more serious note, anxiety affects people in different ways. Certain people suffer from chronic anxiety or even panic attacks. Now, just because anxiety treats these people differently doesn't mean we should. Instead, we should work to find a common solution and help them out. Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? No. Anxiety can isolate us and put distrust in others because we're afraid of what they will think. How can you trust? How can you build goodwill and better friendships when you think negatively about everybody around you? Fourth, will it benefit all concerned? No. Anxiety affects our mental health and our physical health in bad ways. It can affect our performance on the job or at school, and it can stop us from taking healthy risks that could help us grow. Now, I know I've been dogging on anxiety, but sometimes it is necessary. It can help us build responsibility or take accountability for certain actions. How can you decide what is good or bad anxiety? I want you to think about whether anxiety is guiding you or controlling you. Now, before I leave here today, I want to leave you with two things. First, if you're ever suffering from anxiety or feel bogged down, I want you to stop and think. Most of the time, the answer is right in front of you, and your mind is racing too fast to catch it. Second, if you're ever anxious about the future and think that nothing good is coming, I want you to be excited about the future instead, because most of the time, either something or someone good is waiting. Now, I gotta go get this girlfriend situation sorted, but thank you all for your time.
Well, thank you, Matthew. Don't go too far. I'd like to introduce our winners. Matthew obviously was our winner. Elliot, would you join us? He came second. Matthew got 500. Elliot 300, and Frida, first time or came in third place, also earned a $200 check. So these are the three people that we struggled to pick out into place. And I want to say thank you to all three of you for participating, all of you for participating. And I have a little gift for each of you. Matthew. Thank you. Elliot, congratulations. I forgot to shake your head. And Frida, thank you. Thank you for your participation. Thank you very, very much. Checks, could I ask the rest of the participants to come on up for a photograph, please? Come on over this way. All right. Look at me and smile. Wow. 1, 2, 3. Good. Thank you. As my old high school photographer would say, use the one more. Very nice. You ready, sir? There you go. Thank you.
It's my pleasure to introduce our speakers today. Casey and Todd Went from Kids Read Now. Kids Read Now is a nationally recognized literacy program that works with schools and communities to ensure that children continue reading and learning outside the classroom, especially during the summer months when loss of learning. By placing high-quality books directly into the hands of students and encouraging family engagement, the program helps children build strong reading habits and develop lifelong love for learning. Please join me in welcoming Casey and Todd Wynn.
Thank you very much for inviting Todd and I. My name is Casey Wente, and I am the program support specialist for Kids Read Now. And Todd is one of our wonderful board members and our community ambassador. So let me see if I can try to put that stuff down so I can do this. Maybe. Oh, too far. Okay, so who are we? Who is Kids Read Now? Kids Read Now, we are a local nonprofit with a national reach. We are still in Troy, Ohio, where we started in 2013. And that year we served about 1,000 students. Since then, we've served approximately 140,000 students across the nation. We've had schools in Alaska, Florida, Maine, Hawaii, you name it. Basically anywhere there is a U.S. spot. In 2022, the Library of Congress recognized our program and honored us with an award just for the scope and everything for it. And basically our mission, as mentioned, is to really promote that love of reading, specifically in that out of school time. So usually that's summer, but after school breaks, you name it. I didn't practice with little things, so that's why I'm so sorry. So Kids Read Now is based on a few pillars that we have recognized that are really successful. The first of that being student choice. Our students pick the books that they're going to receive, and I'll show you a little bit how that works. Next is home delivery. We make sure that those books get directly into those students' hands. That way they're the most effective. We have parental engagement activities. We monitor the program. We have a fantastic client success team that mod along and really makes it turnkey for teachers and other programs. And then finally, our program is based in evidence. We have a lot of research to back up what we do. Here we go. So our first best practice is student choice. So students actually pick the books. Let me see if I can make this thing go. No, I can't. Well, it's a little movie that shows kind of how students pick the books. So we understand that if you are told, hey, read this book, you may or may not read it. Pick the book that you're going to receive, you're more likely to read it. And we've recognized that students really want to choose those books. So they choose online here, and this is kind of shows you how it works. Yeah, it's moving. Our wish list is online, and actually thanks to Beth's husband, this is why this does this. So New Dawn Labs is our developer. So the students are able to actually see the inside of the book, their genre, they can filter by reading level, all of that. And then we have a companion app now that actually has about 250 digital books with some audio support in there too. Our idea is that we want people and families to be able to read where they are. If you're sitting in the doctor's office and you're waiting, you can pull up the app and you can read a book right then and there. Next, home engagement. So every single one of our books has discovery questions on the inside. These questions are written at the reading level of the book, and they conform with the science of reading. So they're text to text, which is like book to book, text to self. How do you compare to that book? Text to the world. Where do you see that in the world? And then typically we like a creative question on there as well. You can also notice on the upper corner here, there's a number. Our client success team is reaching out to these families. That's part of that engagement.
remind reading, let them know their book's on the way, and to give some engaging tips along with that. This is important because this is also how we are able to go back to the school district and kind of show where those students are in the process. Here, this app goes right to that companion app where all of our books are located with those questions. So even if you get a book out of the library, you have that book in your own home library, you're able to look at those questions. The big thing is that students keep the book. This is for their home library. We know that there's a huge percentage of lower income students that have 0 children's books in their home. And this is part of what we're doing to try to help. There we go. Momentum. It's important to keep them reading all summer long. So we send the books pretty much just like this directly to their home so they can see what they're getting in the mail. Since they don't get bills yet, they're usually pretty excited to get mail. So we like to keep that momentum going. About every 7-10 business days we send them. So they get one about once a week all summer long. Not only do they get the books that they picked, but we do think it's important that students write along with read. So we do send a companion book. This is a story starter book that has different prompts and everything to get the kids reading. And so we think that's important too. This is harder than I realized to do, but there you go. There it goes. All right. So as I mentioned, we do have a companion app. This app has some data analysis in it, some pretty cool gamification. So students have some literacy games they play along with the books and the audio stuff. So they can see kind of what they've done, the minutes they've read, all that. The parents can see what books are chosen, and finally the administrators see everybody's everything for their classroom. As mentioned, Kids Read Now is based in evidence. We have years of studies that have all concluded that. So first of all, let me back up one step. Kids Read Now was initially developed to stop the summer reading slide. So when your kids go home, summer break, not reading potentially, their reading skills drop. Typically 2 to 3 months over summer break. If you do nothing, if you don't try and bring that student back up to reading level to reclaim those skills that they lost, by the time they hit 4th or 5th grade, they're 2 to 3 years behind their peers. They don't catch up. This ends up meaning that those students sometimes don't graduate. And we know that there's a social price tag to this. Those students that are not earning as much now because they didn't graduate are more likely to need social services. So those are things that are coming right out of our pocket. So we know that literacy is important. We know that having them reading at grade level, 4th grade reading level, is an important step. So we have done a lot of studies, and we know that like the University of Wisconsin-Madison, Arizona State University, all of those studies show that not only does it stop that summer reading slide, but those students are actually gaining reading skills, especially if they're lower income. So I'd like to turn it over to Todd. He's going to talk about maybe why we need your help and what we can do.
Thank you, Casey. First of all, I want to thank everybody again for this chance to speak to you wonderful people and congratulate you young people. You are our future. I'm going to assume that moms, you read to these little ones when they were. I'm going to assume that you were probably pretty good readers and speakers. Without the reading ability, it's going to make it really difficult to speak. Well, as Casey said, our country when it comes to literacy. I was kind of looking at the Rotary 4-way test. Excellent speech, you did, young man.
Thank you.
And our problem fits right within your wheelhouse. Is it the truth? It is the truth. I was at the Preschool Promise Conference last Friday, kindergarten readiness and 3rd grade reading proficiency. And guess what? First couple of years, it got better. Last year, it dropped 8%. So it is a problem that we need to address. Is it fair to all concerned? No, it's not fair. Every child in this country should have the opportunity that we have had to learn how to read. And realistically, the world has changed. When I grew up, my mother worked. Most households, both parents are working now. I personally did not read much in the summer, but I was able to be successful. But it is not fair that the next generation doesn't have the same opportunity that we have. On your third pillar, and better friendships, of course it will. As Casey mentioned, we work with several nonprofits. We work at food banks in Troy, Miami County, giving the families books along with the food. It's our opinion that if they are unable to do themselves, their skills must be so that they are limited. A lot of that has to do with literacy. Do you know how you can tell how many prison beds you'll need in a community? Bingo, absolutely. Our library, I can appreciate what you do. So we have to, resolve this problem. Will it be beneficial to all concerned? It'll be beneficial to everyone. As a person in my mid-60s, we need a whole lot of you guys taking care of us. And it's important as our population changes that we make everyone feel welcome to the table. There's a lot of people who English is not their first language. And I feel like it's only fair and just that we make them feel welcome and give them the same opportunity. I mean, there's a reason when you go to Home Depot, they speak English and Spanish because there are so many people that are helping us. So this gap widens in the summer. I was very sad when David told me about the golf outing, and I've got to be in Washington, D.C. for a first communion that day. And I thought to myself, yes, sir.
You're still going.
Thank you. Point taken. I lost my train of thought. Oh, the gap widens in the summer. So a skill like golf, I'm sure your golf chair is probably a pretty good golfer. Am I correct?
I play at the game.
Well, let's change this a little bit. Let's talk about the young people here. Imagine if you guys had 3 months where you could not practice your skill. For 3 months, you were not allowed to play golf or practice your speech. Do you know what would happen? You would actually go backwards. And so many people, there's so many children in this country, when they, finish school on June 1st, they don't crack a book till September 1st. As Casey said, it affects graduation rates. And right now, only about 31%, that's 31% of U.S. students from K through 4 are reading at where they should be. Rotary has a history of supporting literacy. Actually, I believe this year, it's a year of the Dolly Parton Imagination Library. We are the ideal partner for Dolly. We always talk internally that Dolly gives books to children who can't. Imagine if you gave them books who could. You're really dependent upon the caregiver reading these young children the books. We have books across pre-K through 5th grade, bilingual. We know a lot of families or a lot of households where the caregivers can't read well themselves, so they're intimidated. So the unintended positive consequences, the caregivers improve their literacy. So, with that being said, I'd like you guys to consider helping us in a number of ways. The first way would be, we have several Rotaries that we ask for a grant to try to do an impact in your community. So I'm going to ask you guys to consider helping us with one of your future grants. We also need volunteers as well. We would love to have people who might be interested in our mission join our board, be part of our committees, because at the end of the day, we're all this together. It takes a village to raise these children. And it has become more apparent that this reading scores are going down. And if we don't do something, it's like a slow motion car accident. You, sir, had the Hanoi license plate. I want to thank you for your service. If you see a problem and you don't do anything about it, you're part of the problem. I want to ask you to be part of the solution. So thank you so much for giving us opportunity to speak today. Congratulations, young people, and have a wonderful Friday the 13th.
Wait just a second. So our traditional program is that we partner with school districts throughout the nation. But locally, we do a lot with other nonprofits, other groups. So for instance, the Catholic Social Services, the Troy Miami County Library, we work with we're working right now with the Junior League of Dayton. So what they're going to do is they're working with Cleveland Elementary and Dayton Public Schools. The second and the third graders, they purchased some books from us and we are going to custom sticker them. So he's actually sending, there's some examples of some custom stickers that we've done with programs in the past. So we're going to use their logos, their QR code for them to go to their resource page, and then they're going to come up to our fulfillment center and they're going to sticker their books as part of their service project, and then go back to Dayton Public Schools and distribute them to the kids, probably read them too to the kids. So we do things like this all the time, is we can, because of our partnerships with our publishers, because of the volume that we do with publishers, we are able to get books at a much reduced cost. And we're able to pass that cost on with this augmented sticker to help get resources directly into the hands of families. For instance, we are Preschool Promises Book of the Month distributor. So if you have a preschooler in the Dayton area that is associated with Preschool Promise, they get a book every single month. We sticker those books and have since 2018. And those books have a QR code that go to their new nonprofit, which is Be Ready by 5. So that helps families, specifically disadvantaged families, know what does my kid need to be doing by the age of 5? What happens if they're not? What are some resources, things of that nature? And as we learned in the Preschool Promise Readiness Summit last week, they are integrating some AI into the programming so that way families can fill out one application and they can speak it. They don't have to type it, and it goes out and finds everything that they're able to be approved for. So this is the kind of service that we work with lots of different organizations throughout the kind of area, basically. Like I think there was some for Catholic Social Services. They did a bilingual because they work with a high Spanish speaking population. So we did 2 stickers for them, one in English and one in Spanish. So we are really nimble. We're a small nonprofit, so we're able to work really well with other nonprofits. So I did want to mention that too. And then finally, we do have a resource guide. This is free for families, for educators. It is always packed with lots of tips that they can use back in their classrooms, in their homes, things of that nature too. So we're really trying to augment and help other people that are fulfilling their mission too. Questions? Yes.
The book here, the speech class rules book, does that help? Most of the books are formatted with the questions in the back. And is that
So that's a little special. Todd actually went out to the Appalachian area in Ohio. We're doing they're having health services that are kind of in there. Because of how we have to send them through the post office, they're never hardback. That's one thing. We will only do paperback. Typically what we do is on the inside cover. There's a couple books. Some of the publishers work with us and they actually print the questions on the inside for us because again, the volume and what we do with them. So Penguin Random House is one of our biggest partners, and they're fantastic, honestly. And actually Dolly Parton Imagination Library is how we formed that partnership. They introduced us. So they do the custom printing, but otherwise we sticker the questions on the inside cover in our facility in Troy. I'd say half are already printed, maybe. It just really depends. And then obviously if we do a custom one, then we ask Penguin not to do the printing. So like if, for instance, the Junior League of Dayton just ordered books. So we would not have them print any questions, and we would have the custom stickers. That way they can have their logos stuff on it.
awesome? Thanks.
How do you get more kids in my classroom or sign up?
So again, the program has to be free to families. So we have to go through another organization. Typically that's a school district, but it doesn't have to be. The PTA organization, a church, really anything else just has to be free for families, basically. Usually it's a classroom at a time. If an elementary school, for instance, or a district signs up, it just really depends. Like sometimes they do their lower readers, their title kids. Just really depends on kind of what they're feeling, what their needs are.
Sorry. with the children, when they sign up, what's the average cost per child of their lifetime in your program? Is that
So we have two different programs. We have our more traditional comprehensive program, which is the 9-book program. They pick 8 books, they get the writing book too. And then and when they come back to school, they get a completion certificate. So we encourage the schools to celebrate. We want to do a kickoff event and we like to do a celebration at the end too, because we think it's important. So that program is
$60.
60?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not a salesperson, so I always forget. That's web support, not sales. So that is a $60, and that's for summer. And then we have a book bridge program, which is a little shorter. It's a 6-book program, and that can go on throughout the school year as well. And that's
29.
29. Thank you.
Other point I wanted to make was that we've been around for about 14 years. Our founder, his mother was part of the original people who started Head Start. She testified in front of Congress in the 1950s. There's actually a public school named after her in the Bronx. Ellen Lorion's public school number.
PS5.
PS5. And what we're finding is that school districts' budgets are becoming pretty tight. So what we're trying to do is go to a 50-50 philanthropic model where we're able to deliver more services and content for half the price. You know, our goal is a school district or another nonprofit who wants to take part in our services. They're getting this, half of it's being paid for by the kindness and generosity of others. So currently, like I said, we have one that's $60 for the whole summer. That includes, the network, the customer support. We also do professional development. For a lot of families, the real struggle is they don't know what to do. They're busy. Again, as I said earlier, there's 2 people working in the family. They really don't think they have time. Another constituent we have might be more of the fractured family where you have a single parent, caregiver. They're treading water, working, like I said, the English language learners, the ELL folks. So we do professional development twice a month, virtually, in both English and Spanish. This is something that we've done for the first time this year. We ship upwards of 35,000 books a day in the summer. Awesome. The post office comes to us. Any other questions?
Finally, the post office comes to us because they didn't used to come to us. And it used to be truckloads of books to be counting.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Said that you send a book every 7 to 10 days. Do they keep those books there?
Absolutely.
Cycle them back to you.
No, absolutely. Those books are theirs for their in-home libraries. Now, sometimes because I also support the client success team in the summer as well. And we do texting, so families can text us and we can answer. So sometimes when they're like, oh, I got this book already, I just like to plug the little libraries because those are fantastic. And I always recommend just go give them to your local library, just put them in the little libraries and pass them along that way for sure.
Along that same line, I'll ask your question here in a second. We sent a postcard out to every family for send a book. Unfortunately, a lot of these families in this lower socioeconomic area, they're transient. And the worst thing you can do, to Casey's point, is to mail a book that just sits there. They cost us twice to get the book back. So we do a really hard effort to make sure the family is still residing there. If the postcard comes back, we text them saying, by chance, has your address changed? Oh, it has. Please provide us so we can give that to you. But it's such a unique thing for these children to have their own library they take with them. And I think my library person would attest, tablets are nice, but there's nothing like holding an actual book.
And book ownerships.
And book ownership, absolutely. Any question over here?
I've worked quite a bit promoting educational opportunities for resource poor children in Honduras. I was wondering if you do anything international, and then also I was wondering if you have in some of those environments, we find that if we can employ to more people more cost effectively on digital platforms. Do you have any digital platforms that are available? And I guess also will be available in Spanish.
So I'll start with that question first. Yes. our new companion app that we're rolling out now, basically, that does have some digital format because our CEO comes from World Reader, so she was very familiar with digital and audio books. So she really wanted to add that component. So that way, again, families can read where they are. We think it's really important. Doesn't matter if you're sitting in line somewhere or you're waiting for something, to be able to pull out your phone and turn on an audiobook, or because again, we know that poor literacy is often hereditary, right? If a parent has, yeah, it's generational. If a parent has a low literacy, typically that child is going to be low literacy as well. So yes, we do have ebooks and with an audio component to it. Yes. The second question, and in Spanish, yes. Most of our materials are in Spanish as well. So we have a large percentage of books that are also in Spanish. Usually they're bilingual, so it's like a read to me, read with me. So they're both English and Spanish. To the other point about Honduras, I've worked with one person up in Canada. I would say that if we had a partner that was willing to do that and help us with that, absolutely, we would source books for you and sticker books for you and do all of those things. It's the mailing and customs things that I'm not versed in that I wouldn't be able to answer. But if there's a great partner to be able to do that, absolutely, we're not.
Great partner.
Well, there we go.
Brampton Wonder School, and without children.
So yeah, if you know how to get the books there, then we're happy to get the books to you. Yeah, absolutely.
So I was blessed to be in the state of Florida for about the last time. I brought the warmth with me. Yeah, their challenges are a little different challenges per se. They have a lot more Spanish speaking families as well. And to your point, in case you mentioned it, we have books, and we know a lot of the parents don't even read in Spanish. So we have the audio version, but we have it in English and in Spanish. And for pre-K students, it'll be a very simple conversation. There's a story about my favorite day is going to the museum. And you have a 5-year-old child reading along with their father. And I'm going to be one of those.
Yeah, I happen to not grab a Spanish book, I don't think.
So, but anyway, we would be excited to look into a partnership to help. Like I said, we're a national nonprofit, but we really have a large footprint here in the Miami Valley. But we feel much like the Rotaries and Virtues, everyone deserves to have chances. We love about you guys. Any other questions? This has been fantastic. Yes, sir.
I want to make sure it comes out right. Is there any influence on the books, if that's the right word, to get the people to learn English?
So
Since they're going to live here.
Well, the books are in English. We do no Spanish only books. So they're at least bilingual. So they do have English in them, yes. And the questions that are printed in the book are in English. Some of them will be printed in the back in Spanish too, but most of them are English, and they would have to go onto the app to see it in Spanish, for instance.
Dave, you're spot on. So our goal is when a family immigrates to the U.S., to really live the American dream, they need to read and speak English. So our books have one sentence in English, and right below that is the same English, same sentence in Spanish. So the goal is that, and again, the unintended positive consequences, not only does the child learn, but so do the parents.
Right.
Yep.
That's good.
Thank you.
I just wanted that to come out right.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Any other questions? You guys are fantastic. Any other questions? Well, on behalf of Casey and myself, we want to thank you for your time and appreciate the opportunity to speak in front of you.
And I did bring some impact reports if anybody would like to go to have our impact report to take a look at. And then also too, if you wanted to sign up for that newsletter for any reason, the resource guide, I have that QR code as well.
And please, I brought a number of business cards. If anyone would like to have a deeper dive, come by and see me. We'd love to schedule some time to learn about you and how we might partner with a school district, a charter school, private school. We work across the board. All right.
Thank you very much. Start telling Casey, we donate a book every week for, for speakers. And this one is Pete the Cat, The Great Leprechaun Chase. That kind of fish. Let's go get a fish. Who's that? Okay.
Do you, any of you guys know about Pete the Cat? Pete the Cat is the coolest cat out there. I have grandchildren who I read Pete the Cat to quite frequently. Now they read to me.
No. Yeah. Oh.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, I mean, 2 times.
Absolutely. Got it. No, what do I say? Forge like it's his son. This is right around here.
I'm sleeping on the job and getting fine. Sure, it's not smart.
No, it's not what you have.
I read Pete the Cat first in 12 days this year. Hilarious. He
Now we show
there is in California.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Yeah, I was sleeping on the job. I was sitting there talking to him, not having time to look. Is there anything else to be brought up today? I want to thank our guests in the speaking program, the 4-way speech contest, the parents and the coaches, and all our members here. And you are enough. Like I said, could you all rise to the pledge, please? Oh, very good. You all right? Our pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation, God, for see. Thank you all. Thank all of you for coming. It's very, very really appreciate that. Number on and takes all your hands before you leave. No, we're doing your not graduating here. It's least the editor can communicate for this term. Different. So. Arlington. Yeah. Have any suggestions on how to you have my home there? 16. It's